Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Semret Russom. Super excited to have you back. Today is Motivational Monday and Wellness, and I'm super excited to have you back again. So let's get into the video. Today, I want to talk to you guys about finding yourself. And that sounds kind of weird, right? But finding yourself before you get into a relationship. That's really what I actually want to talk about. Meaning, like, when you are trying to be dating or get into the next stage of life with someone else, you want to make sure that you find yourself. What do I mean by that? Finding yourself and knowing who you are as a person is key before you move on to anybody else. And one of the things that I did personally, that I didn't jump into dating right away after I got divorced. And the reason being is that, one, I was still in shock going through the process of divorce. Is like a death, right? You gotta go all the process from being sad, angry, like all the emotions that you feel through, like kind of like burying your marriage and moving on to life. That's what I mean. It's like healing yourself and getting to know who you are as a person before you even like jump into another relationship. That was really important to me. I had to like remove myself from any guy, anything that has to do with dating for a long time. And one, it was important for me to and now discover, who am I now that I'm single? Who am I as a person? What does Semret like and don't like? Like, what do I do now that I'm single? How do I process life? And all those things, I had to do a soul searching, accepting and loving myself all over again, right? Because I was going through all the hurts and pain from my divorce that I almost lost myself in it. Doesn't make sense? Like, you just feel so wrapped up on this human being that you once had and letting it go, right? Letting it go, that person, letting it go, your marriage, your idea of having a union. So finding myself was key. One of the things that I did, honestly, was first of all, acknowledging that I no longer need or have the desire to chase anyone or wanting to fix things. Right now, this is just for what I'm saying, what I did. When I tried to fix a situation, it didn't work out, I just let it go. It's no longer for me. If I have to fight for something, if I have to feel like I have to grab him back towards me when there's no need anymore. And so the first place for me was letting it go. The minute I did that, then it was kind of weird in a way. He tried to come back into my life. You know, this is like a book, not in one video. Anyway, so what I did then was, okay, how do I now have my own head and clear, right? So I basically allow myself to go through the process, which is really important, you know, and having a good support system helped me. Having my mom, having my mentor, my friends, it was really, really important for me. I honestly didn't allow anyone that made me feel like it was, oh, I didn't fight hard to keep my marriage, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. So those kind of people, what I did was I just didn't get them to be around my process of healing myself and finding myself again. And it was key for me to do that. It was very, very important, because finding yourself after a breakup or a divorce, it's challenging and it's difficult. But when you don't have a way to cope with it, and if you just like, you know, stuck in that situation, if you're stuck in like anger or depression, why me? I could have did this. No. For me, what I did was, okay, well, this is over now. This is no longer in my life. It doesn't exist. So how do I heal? What do I need to do? Talking to my mom and talking to my friends and my mentor that I had, and they helped me, like, for me, I'm like that person. I need to get rid of from like what I'm feeling. I want to talk about it, right? I want to talk about it, and then I could just feel like, okay, it's not in my heart anymore. And so that's what I did. I talked to them how I was feeling when I'm sad, when I'm, when I feel like I didn't feel like I wanted to get up, and all those things. And so I went through all that. I remember there's a pastor in San Diego. I used to also listen to Christian music and things that makes me feel good in the moment of my darkness, right? What I used to do is my parents had a little porch in the back, and I would go and listen to his sermon. So one day I was listening to him. I don't know, in my head or a voice, it was like, what are you waiting for? Like, get up. And like, I was feeling sorry for myself, basically. Like, I didn't want to do anything. And it was just like, oh my God, I'm not dead. I'm still alive. And in that moment, I remember feeling like, okay, I'm gonna go shower. I'm gonna take care of myself. I'm gonna live my life as if nothing happened to me. Like, mind you guys, when I say I was in my lowest, like, it was really, really bad time in my life. But what I did was every day I made myself get up, shower, get dressed, put makeup on, dress. You would not know that I was going through all kinds of stuff, right? But I keep psyching myself to feeling good, keep telling myself that everything is going to be okay. And I keep surrounding my everyday with positive things to help me feel good. Even though my situation was not good, it was something that I had to do to, like, step by step until I felt like, okay, I'm now back into my own self. I'm now, who I am, right? And loving yourself, doing things that, I remember going to the gym, out of all the places that I love the gym. And I remember going into a gym, a friend of mine that knew me like for years, and he was like, wow, you lost your smile. Like, you know what I mean? I was smiling, but he knew, like, he was, how you smile when you're just like not in a good place? He was like, you lost your smile. And that made me like, oh my God, people know. Well, I better change something. I need to like get out of this funk. And so getting up early every day, I used to drive to the water, like not to the water, by the water, just walk around and just sitting there and meditating and praying and just like giving myself that time. It used to just be my way of coping with things that I was going through. And it was really, really helpful for me. And I started getting out of that funk, and I started to get like better every day. I was doing hair then. I would go do hair, and at night I would just drive by the water. I would always just, I don't know, something about the water used to be just calming to me. Like, I love it. It was just the sound of it. It's just so peaceful. So then I was like, okay, I now need to know. I remember a friend of mine was like, okay, well, it's been almost 6 months. You should like just go out on a date so you can just forget about this. And I was like, no. I didn't even want to see a guy, let alone to date a guy at that time, So what I did was I just wanted to know who I am, and wanting to know what makes me happy, what makes me feel what makes me feel like, what is Semret like? And so it's almost like I have to discover myself all over again. And that's what I did every day. I worked on myself every day. I read books that make me feel like, self-help books, or like inspirational, like conversation. And one of them is, of course, Oprah, and many other people that I did on YouTube. And, but it helped me like forget about the pain that I was going through. And eventually I start to feel like, oh, my old self. It was almost like, how you go through the grieving when someone dies. It takes you a long time, and it's not, the pain was just getting less and less and less and less and less. And then you just start to breathe better. There's no anxiety. There's no like, oh my God, I am 30 years old and single. Oh my God, all that weird stuff that as women, we put pressure on ourselves. But and I just remember feeling like on myself. And then I just said, okay, from this moment forward, I had promised myself that I was gonna work on myself. I was gonna allow myself to not be in a relationship without me knowing exactly who I am and what I wanted out of a relationship or a marriage or anything like that, right? And so it took a long time, like I didn't date almost like 3 years, close to 3 years. Like literally, I did not want to be in relationship. And part of it is because I was not trusting people. I didn't want to be repeating what I went through again. Does it make sense? Because I wasn't ready. I didn't trust men at all. And this goes both, like men and women, we all go through it. But and the reason why I'm talking about finding yourself is like finding yourself first before you jump into the next relationship or jump into the next situation, marriage, anything like that. Because healing yourself and knowing who you are first is key. Then it makes you be like vigilant, and it also gives you an opportunity to to kind of know what you like and don't like in a person, and you get to know who you are as a person for yourself too. And you want to grow as a person. When we go through a situation like what I went through with my divorce, I learned a lot. Although it was painful, I look back at it, there's so many things that I've learned. And now I know those lessons are for me to learn. And so that way, moving forward in my life, I know what to look for, right? And I know like certain things, what to, when they come to me, I know how to like recognize them, right? So I then, what I did was, sounds crazy, but I had to forgive my ex-husband. It was just bizarre. One day, and I was like, why am I carrying this person in my mind when his butt is free somewhere, right? So for me, I've always believed in forgiving someone is for myself. So if I forgive him, I let go of things, it's just allowing me to heal even faster, right? And I don't have any resentment, any like anger or any like type of feelings towards him. So I acknowledge, as for him, I just basically say thank you for the experience of everything. I've learned so much. Not everything was bad in my marriage, and every relationship when it ends is bad, but there were some amazing times that I had in my marriage. And so I had to acknowledge that, and also I have to let it go with a positive forgiveness, right? Because then you want to let somebody go as if they're free from you with a good intention. So for me, was forgiving him means that I'm free of all the shame and the guilt, the hurt, the pain that I was going through because of feeling like he caused me, right? So then I need to let him go. I need to bless him and wish him, hey, good luck to you. I don't have to call him on the phone. I just send him for my mind, like free my mind, right? It doesn't make sense. So that's what I had to do for me, was like forgive him for whatever I felt like he has done to me. It was just, okay, I need to let it go. I need to forgive him and I need to move on, right? So that's what I did. Forgiveness is key for us to heal and for us to grow as human beings. At the end of the day, forgiving is not that you forgot about what that person did to you or wrong, good, bad, everything. It's just that you're forgiving so that way you can heal your wounds, right? So that way you can move on in life. And so for me, forgiveness is always important in my life, so that way I can feel free and allow myself to be myself again. And so that's really what I did at the end, was I need to forgive him. And so that way I can truly, truly grow and get to know who I am as a person. So forgiveness is humility, moving your ego away from you, recognizing that it has nothing to do with your ego, it has nothing to do with anything. It's all about letting it go and letting it be. And so for me, forgiving him means that I recognize the situation. I've grown from my experience. I know who I am as a woman. I now know, so therefore I forgive you and I love you. So there you go. That's what I did. That's exactly how I let it go of from my heart. And honestly, it was almost like this energy fell away from me, and I felt like I could talk about my past without feeling this hurt or pain, anger, and all that emotions that brings you to surface, right? So I can talk about my past without having to feel any anger, nothing. I don't feel anything at all. It's just another experience in my life that I had to go through, right? So that's how I see it, and I've grown so much from it. It made me the woman that I am, and it made me to recognize, in my marriage, the things that I love and the things that I wanted. And really, that's what it is. You recognize, and when you're ready, when you know who you are, you're ready to receive the blessings that you want in life, and so on, right? All right, guys. So, like I was saying, obviously this video is about finding yourself, and it means that it doesn't have to be about divorce. It could be about anything. It means that finding yourself is. Here's the thing that helped me is basically taking time for myself to get to know who I am, and finding key things that I am, my strength, basically, what is my strength, and also my weaknesses, so that way I can improve them, right? And also just having good people around you that is gonna help you to, recognize. Sometimes we need other people to kind of say, hey, I see this in you. And then it's like, oh, wow, I didn't even think that was a big deal. But recognizing your weaknesses and your strength is good. And honestly, going through a really bad time in your life, it's part of human being. We're supposed to go through that. It makes us grow. And so don't think of it as it's the worst thing, but think of it as an experience that we go through in life. And if we see certain things in our life that comes, if we see it as an experience, then it will be easier for us to move on. And so for me, I just recognize it. Just when everything that happened in my life, I see it as, okay, this is what I'm supposed to experience. So then it doesn't make it feel like it's such a big deal. So the other tip that I have is forgiveness. Forgiveness is so key in anything. It doesn't have to be your ex-husband or ex-girlfriend or boyfriend. Forgiveness is in everything in our life. And so when you forgive someone, when you forgive things, even forgiving yourself, in fact, for anything that you feel shame or guilt or feeling a certain way about yourself, forgive yourself, so that way you can move forward in life and feel good about yourself, and so that you could do amazing things in life and help other people be amazing like you. So yeah, that is my last tip for you guys. And I'm gonna wrap this video up. If you like this video, don't forget to give thumbs up, and also like, share, and leave me a comment. I read all your comments. And thank you so much for hanging out with me. Till next video, take care, you guys. Bye.